Hello there, everyone. Match review, and I'll just go off the cuff. I'll go raw here, and I just want to get my feelings across on a lot of things at the moment going on at Bristol City that potentially annoying fans and with it, and frustrating for people, including me, to be brutally honest. So I'll go over that, and I'll try to be as brief as possible, so I don't take much of your time. It was another defeat on the road. It was at Ewood Park this time at Blackburn, and it was a 2-1 defeat for Bristol City. Um, 2 goals, really sucker punched, and it was a marathon climb at 2-0. And Bristol City ultimately just didn't do enough to get back into the game and get a point. This was the team. It was Max in goal, Tanner, Viner, Dickey, Pring came back into the team after being left out against Huddersfield. Dandy Vyman dropped out. Sykes, James, Williams, Knight, Sam Bell, and Tommy Conway. Yeah, it was a weird game because it always felt something, that gut feeling of essentially Bristol could just turn up here and pull out results out of nothing. Um, and for the first 20 minutes, generally looked okay, looked okay in possession, looked fine tuned, and everything was slick and neat and tidy. And ultimately, though, got pull some results out, and with that possession, didn't really do much. Every possession, every little thing you do has to lead to something good, and that just didn't work. And that once again has been the case under Manning so far in his tenure. And that was the case against Norwich, where when we conceded that equaliser, we were the only team in that game trying to force the winner, and then Norwich hit us on the counter attack and ultimately lose that game 2-1. Same against Huddersfield, where we try to force the issue onto Huddersfield, get hit on the counter attack, go 1-0 down, and again against a low block, it's always going to be hard to break it down and score 2 goals, and ultimately we just couldn't do that. But we did okay to get a point out of then, probably deserved 3 points. Same here, didn't force that goal, and again get hit on the counter attack. Don't do anything after that. You'd think that Bristol City are hoping for a progression and real details being transferred across to those players, and Manning and Chris Hogger really working on that, and I hope they are, because at the moment it feels a little bit off. Doesn't don't know. I'll have some potential theories, but there's no ultimate reason as to why that's not working at the moment. Again, we're only 6 games in. We'll find out next season. This time next year, if we're still talking about these issues, then I don't think Liam Manning and Chris Hogg will be here. But yeah, it's a poor goal to concede from our perspective. Blackburn built a little bit more pressure. They looked a little bit more neat in possession, where for those first 20 minutes they had a little bit more. They had a few opportunities, but just didn't get that final pass across. And then Bristol City couldn't take advantage of that ultimately in that first 20 minutes. What we didn't do after that was once again go again, recycle possession, keep going. We just lost any sense of control. That goal, by the way, came from Arnold Sigurdsson, who was played in horrendous defending from us. Our point of view, it's just really bad. Sigurdsson then whips it home. It's past Max in the goal. Who, by the way, despite none of the goals being his fault, I am utterly convinced does not fit into the system. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I just don't think he's up to it. I've tried to keep faith in Max. I've tried to keep some sort of level of reasonable composure on Max, but it's just getting way too hard at the moment, because he is just really not working. It's just not working with Max and the Manning. I don't think is general. Just he's always way too quick to make a decision when he maybe potentially just take a couple more seconds, look at his options. Normally Viner and Dickey available, and he just boots it long, and it's just like, well, are you booting it to Sam Bell, who's about 2'1" against championship right back, centre back? Because it's just not going to work, is it, mate? So that, yeah, I don't know. You tell me in the comments your thoughts on Max. I just don't think this is going to work. I think he's a decent player, decent shot stopper to a certain extent, but this is just not good enough. In terms of on the ball, he's just not good enough for me. Again, Blackburn trying to build the pressure, and ultimately I think they should probably the ones who should go 2-0 up half time. That doesn't happen. They force a few set pieces again. Nothing comes to that. And then the set piece that does comes in, there's this, well, Blackburn do profit from. It's Scott Wharton, I think, or Scott Wharton, yeah, the centre back. Two Whartons in that Blackburn team, so quite confusing actually. Scott Wharton, the centre back, left completely free in the back post, arguably their best, the tallest player, maybe. Yeah, maybe Hayden Carter, but their tallest player, maybe. That Blackburn team left completely free in the back post, and you're going, what are you doing? And it's a simple header from that, really. Past Max 2-0. And it's just really, 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 really soft. And you're giving yourself a mountain to climb in the Championship, which is never good, is it? So, really annoying, really frustrating. I'm sure it is for Manning and Chris Ogg too. We then do react with substitutions, and those changed the game ultimately, I think, in our favour. Mehmeti comes on for Sam Bell, Cornick comes on for Conway, Garden Hickman comes on for Joe Williams. Garden Hickman was outstanding, Mehmeti was brilliant. I think Cornick really caused him a few problems as well, and ultimately if he, I think, had a shot where he could have taken it when, if that goes in, you're going 2-2, bloody hell, we really changed that game with the substitutes. Garden Hickman was the ball off someone in the Blackburn defence, I'm not going to be sure who, gives it to Knight, slides it into Sykes down the right hand side, puts it across, and it's in the back of the net, and it's a good finish from Sykes, who I thought was really good. Him and Knight did really well in that game. Knight, by the end of that game, really forced a few chances and a few good saves of Blackburn's goalkeeper Wolstead, and I think he forced a perfect hat trick of saves, so a left foot, right foot, and a header as well. I think I heard in the commentary. So unique stat there, but didn't score. Ultimately got an assist though, not bad. And then the next batch of substitutions, which come on 79th minute, Yeboah comes on for Sykes. Yeboah's alive. Well done. And he's finally being used. Andy Vyman comes on for Jason Knight. So Jason Knight and Mark Sykes both dragged off, and arguably they were our best players. And you're really, really struggling on that one. You're just thinking, what is Manning doing with those changes? And it just doesn't make sense to me. He did that against Norwich, where he took Mark Sykes off, and we lost the game there and then, I think, because we lost any sense of control after that. And as soon as Garden Hickman comes on, actually, we start to gain some more control. Joe Williams and Matty James are, well, I think both of them, I think, are out of contract in the summer. Matty James certainly is, and maybe not sure about Joe Williams, but I think both of them are out of contract in the summer. I'm not overly sure Manning is going to, want them both around here, to be honest. I think they're good players in their own respect. Where they fit into the system or not, I'm not overly sure. Good, J-Mo is a good, good at passing the ball around, whatnot, but has he got that killer instinct in him, to play that final ball in terms of attackers' feet? I'm not quite sure. Williams, well, I just don't know what he does at the moment. He's, well, Manning said, might be Huddersfield, pre-Huddersfield, he brings that bite around. I thought he was quite good against Huddersfield, Joe Williams, to be honest, but he doesn't do much. He doesn't offer much, does Joe Williams, and that's a bit annoying because you really wanted him to succeed because he looks like a really nice guy. Comes across a really nice guy in the club, interviews and whatnot, but it's just not working at the moment. But the point is, he takes Sykes and Knight off, which is just mind-boggling because they're possibly our two most effective players on the night, and arguably, if we want a goal, we'd probably turn to Mark Sykes, and yeah, didn't work in that. Sykes again, arguably our inform forward at the moment, and again, that didn't work. Surprise, surprise. And it's just really annoying because then we force a few good chances. Matty has a delicious ball which he puts right to the back post, and if Yeboah makes a run, which he didn't, hit an empty net to head into or tap into, and you're going there 2-2, and you're going, well, we've robbed the point of Blackburn there. So really annoying from that perspective. That's the sort of game, tight margins yet again. If you want to be successful and really pushing the top six, something you've got to get out of. And ultimately, it feels like the tight margins are going against us at the moment. Huddersfield should have arguably won that game, and the volume of chances we created. Norwich, as I mentioned, really just possession, territory. Getting on the counter attack, Adamida scores, just pace. QPR, that was tight and arguably, should have been a draw. To be fair, Middlesbrough was a tight game, and that went for us. Southampton away, another tight game, bit of real quality from Saints, and ridiculous fullback who shouldn't be in this league, and he scores with his left foot, his weak foot, puts it around the top corner. You go, fair enough, whatever, can't deal with that. But this game against another fellow, top six, well, they're more top six quality than us, or top six material than us at the moment. But, if we want to be pushing, or try to at least, or getting some results and don't want to push up the table, something you've got to get out of and not concede soft goals like we did for that second goal, and not be opened and just carved apart like we did for that first one. It's got to be more consistent and a bit more, just generally, just a bit more solid. And that wasn't the case against Blackburn. Manning is not making it easy for himself, is he? He's lost a lot of the fans. He's not. Well, he's not lost it. He's not lost. That's the wrong way to say it. He's not doing. I don't think he's doing enough to get the fans on side and not showing enough at the moment. But I still have full faith in Liam Manning. I have to say that I still have complete faith that once he gets his players in and gets his ideas fully across to a set of players who he thinks is good enough or are competent enough to take his ideas on board and really implement it. Whether I don't think, honestly, he thinks this squad at the moment is good enough to do that, then he I think starts moving us in the right direction. Whether he'll be given the tools to do that, have that squad reshuffle, I don't know. He probably does, to be honest. I don't think Pearson was given that money. You let me know what you think of that in the comments. I personally think the club can do whatever they want and back whoever they want. And ultimately, if they don't think Pearson was the right guy, well, they didn't think Pearson was the right guy, and they sacked him eventually. But what's the point in keeping him in the summer then? Should have hired someone new then. But if Manning is given, let's just focus on the now and not the past. But if Manning is given that money now, he's got to bring players in who are competent enough to take his ideas on board and, as I said, execute it to a T and really get the fans on board, which ultimately is proving to be a bit of a challenge at the moment for him with results and that's just not going his way. But as I said, tight margins, and that's expected with the team that's, got a massive shift in style from Pearson to Manning. Always going to be a little bit more bedding in time than usual when there's a massive shift in play style. Ultimately, I think we've got to give him time. And despite a couple of tough fixtures, 3 tough fixtures coming up. Was it Hull, Hunt, Sunderland at home, and then it's Watford away, who are looking fairly good as well. So if we can get a couple of wins at home, probably a better chances. Then you're looking at it, you're going, not bad actually. So things can change very quickly in football, is all I'm going to say. At the moment, it's a bit of a tough watch, a bit of a dire watch, because we're not really moving the ball that quickly. We did against Huddersfield, and we generally looked more of a threat, but again, that was against a very low block. Not all teams are going to play a low block against us, more general. So we've got to make sure we are the ones, really forcing chances and really forcing that, creating that, turning that domination in possession, the chances, opening teams up. It's a weird one. It's a tough one at the moment, but I think we've got to be given time for this to really work, and Manning needs time. And I think he deserves time, in all honesty. And he's got to be backed in January and in the summer as well, because these next 2 windows for him are going to be utterly crucial if he is to have success at Bristol City. I'm not questioning anything at the moment because it's only 6 games in. It always takes a bit of time to adapt to a new club. For him personally, it's going to be hard. Moving over from Oxford, where he's doing really well there, moving to a squad that's generally inconsistent, and he's inconsistent again, and got to try and shift the play style so much. It's always going to take a bit of time. And generally, I think we've shown some real quality in times, or adaptability and flexibility. I think the squad has shown. I think we've really done well into midfield, and in possession we look like we're taking ideas on board. Maybe just tone it down a little bit, the ideas across, and balance that out, and hopefully we see an improvement in the near future, because ultimately that's all we want, really. That is it, I think. Weird one, because it's a really, really tough one to watch at the moment. And Sunderland and Hull are not going to be easy, and Watford away is not going to be easy either. But I think we have to just back the boys and give Manning till the end of the season, in all honesty, and see what you can do and muster up. I think we won't sack him unless we're in the relegation zone, quite honestly. And then, move from there. I'm not endorsing sacking Manning. That's ridiculous. Do not sack Manning, please. They won't sack Manning. But yeah, if you are, already turned on Manning, I don't think there's many people, but if you have, let me know in the comment section right below. Because it's only been 6 games, so always takes time, as I said. Thank you very much for watching. Listening to us ramble waffle. Thank you very much for watching. Keep safe. And I'll catch you all later. Cheers.